say we're able to get to that space, right? Like the movement that happens with AI and with just technology, which will advance quicker, I think, which is one thing that AI feels like to me. It's a fast forward button on technology and on possibility, because information can be quantified so quick, and a lot of more menial tasks, even though they're not really menial in people's lives, but menial hypothetically, can be done quicker to get a lot of the framework for things done fast. But how will people survive? Like, how do we adjust our structure of if some people own the companies that have the AI, and then a lot of people are just using the AIs and the agents created by AIs to do things for them? How will societal members still be able to financially survive? Will there still be money? What is that? Does that make any sense, that question?
It totally makes sense.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know. Neither does anybody else, but I'll tell you my current best guess.
Okay.
Well, I'll say two guesses. One, I think it is possible that we put, GPT-7 or whatever in everybody's ChatGPT. Everybody gets it for free. And everybody has access to just this crazy thing, such that everybody can be more productive, make way more money. It doesn't actually matter that you don't own the cluster itself, but everybody gets to use it. Mm-hmm. And it turns out even getting to use it is enough that people are getting richer faster and more distributed than ever before. That could happen. I think that really is possible. There's another version of this where the most important things that are happening are these systems are discovering new cures for diseases, new kinds of energy, new ways to make spaceships, whatever. And most of that value is accruing to the cluster owners, us, just so that I'm not dodging the question here. And then I think society will very quickly say, okay, we got to have some new economic model where we share that and distribute that to people.
As you just heard from Sam Altman, we're facing a fundamental question. How will people survive in a world where AI does most of the work? He lays out two possible futures, one where AI empowers everyone, and another where only the owners of the technology capture the value. This isn't just about automation. As Sam said, AI feels like a fast-forward button on civilization. But if that button skips over economic inclusion, then we've got a serious problem. Say we're able to get to that space, right? Like the movement that happens with AI, it feels like a fast-forward button. But how will people survive? How do we adjust our structure of finance? If some people own the AI companies and others are just using the agents, will society still be able to financially survive? That question wasn't asked by a sci-fi writer or some fringe philosopher. It was raised in a real, candid conversation by one of the key figures building the future of AI. And it cuts right to the heart of where we're headed. Because here's the truth. Artificial intelligence isn't just automating tasks. It's not just about making your life more convenient. It's reshaping the structure of our economy, the nature of ownership, and the very meaning of human participation in a system that no longer requires us to work in order to function. So, how do we survive that? That's what we're diving into today, something much deeper than UBI, the idea of universal basic wealth. Let's explore what that actually means, and why it might be the only way we avoid a future where AI makes everything, except a place for us. AI today feels like someone grabbed the remote control of civilization and smashed the fast-forward button. Think about how quickly we're advancing now. Drug discovery that used to take years is happening in weeks. Coding projects that would take a team of engineers are handled by a single agent in real time. Multimodal models can watch video, read code, analyze a legal contract, and book a flight, all in one flow. This is not just productivity, it's acceleration on an existential level. But here's the paradox. The more AI speeds things up, the more obsolete human labor becomes. So then what? What happens when most of what we consider work becomes either unnecessary or dramatically less valuable? The instinctive response from many policymakers and technologists has been universal basic income, UBI. Just give people money, if their jobs disappear. Keep the engine running. But here's where it gets interesting and dangerous, because money alone doesn't solve the real problem. What happens when people don't just lose their jobs, but their sense of contribution, their sense of ownership, their stake in the system? What happens when productivity goes up? GDP explodes, and the only ones who benefit are the owners of compute clusters and data centers. This is the AI inequality problem. And it's not just hypothetical, it's already happening. There are really two futures people are imagining right now. Let's call the first one AI for all. In this scenario, access is everything. GPT-7 or whatever's next is given freely to every person on Earth. You don't own it, but you can use it, and that's enough. You start a business using your personal AI agent. Your productivity skyrockets. Artists create faster, writers publish better work. Entrepreneurs get scale instantly. The rising tide lifts everyone. We get smarter, richer, more creative. Even if we don't own the technology, we benefit from it in tangible ways. That world? It's beautiful, and it's possible. But there's another version of the future that's less idealistic and far more probable given how things are trending. Let's call this one AI for the few. In this world, the value created by AI, curing diseases, building infrastructure, optimizing every system, is captured not by the people, but by the infrastructure owners. The few companies who control the GPUs, the energy, the models, and the data pipelines. They own the gold mines. Everyone else is just paying to use the shovel. And here's the problem. If that happens, wealth will consolidate at a level we've never seen before in human history. It's not capitalism anymore. It's cognitism, an economy built on compute, governed by those who control intelligence. And that leads us to the core question. How do we prevent that? Universal basic income sounds great in theory. Everyone gets a monthly check, no strings attached. AI does the work. We live off the dividends. But here's the thing. Money isn't the only thing people need. Humans need purpose, participation, agency. We need to feel like we're co-creating the world, not just surviving in it. A check in the mail doesn't give you that. Think about that. It's not about redistribution. It's about inclusion at the ownership level. Because in a world where AI systems compound value exponentially, being a user isn't enough. You want to be a shareholder in the future, and that's where universal basic wealth comes in. So what is universal basic wealth? It's not charity. It's not welfare. It's not, let's give the poor people some leftover money. It's structural inclusion. It's the idea that every human being has a birthright claim to a share of the wealth generated by autonomous systems, because that wealth is only possible due to the existence of human society in the first place. Imagine this. There are 8 billion people on the planet, and let's say, just hypothetically, the world's AI systems generate 20 quintillion tokens of value each year. That could be measured in compute, output, energy, whatever metaphor works. Now, 12 quintillion of those tokens are captured by traditional markets, private capital, etc. But the remaining 8 quintillion? Those get distributed evenly across every person on Earth. That's 1 trillion tokens per person. Maybe you don't need yours. You sell them. Maybe you want to pool them with others and fund an art project. Maybe you save them and watch them compound. Maybe you trade them for access to new AI capabilities. The point is, you're not just watching the future happen, you own a piece of it. This concept, while radical, resonates with something deeper than economics. It resonates with identity. Because even if AI handles 90% of the world's productivity, from energy systems to logistics to medicine, it can't do everything. It can't create meaning. It can't invent culture. It can't define what it means to be human in a post-work world. Only we can do that. So in this future, we must think bigger than just jobs. We must ask, what does it mean to matter? Not as a worker, but as a human being. Universal basic wealth is about saying you still matter, not just emotionally or philosophically, but structurally, economically, and systemically. Let's return to what Sam Altman's conversation.
Some new economic model where we share that and distribute that to people. I used to be really excited about things like UBI. I still am kind of excited, like universal basic income, where you just give everybody money.
Yeah, you hear that term a lot. Yeah, universal basic income. Yeah, I heard you and Rogan talk about that too a while back.
I still am kind of excited about that, but I think people really need agency. Like they really need to feel like they have a voice in governing the future and deciding where things go. And I think if you just like say, okay, AI is going to do everything, and then everybody gets like a, dividend from that, it's not going to feel good. And I don't think it actually would be good for people. So I think we need to find a way where we're not just like, if we're in this world where we're not just distributing money or wealth, like actually, I don't just want like a check every month. What I would want is like an ownership share in whatever the AI creates, so that I feel like I'm participating in this thing that's going to compound and get more valuable over time. So I sort of like universal basic wealth better than universal basic income. And I think I don't like basic either. I want like universal extreme wealth for everybody. But even then, like I think what people really want is the agency to kind of co-create the future together. And in a world where it's like the AI is mostly coming up with the new scientific inventions, at least we've got to still have humans like invent the new culture and have that be a very distributed thing.
Okay, I guess, I see what you're saying, but would that be like an American thing, do you think? Like since they were invented here, or do you think, I'm just wondering, what does that look like,
The economic model of it all, or the whole thing?
Yeah, or is there a dividend of the company that then is divided up between the masses, sort of?
I mean, a crazy idea, but in the spirit of crazy ideas, is that if the world, there's like roughly 8 billion people in the world, if the world can generate like 8 quintillion tokens per year, if that's the world, let's say the world can generate 20 quintillion tokens per year.
Tokens of?
Like each word generated by an AI.
Okay.
Just making up a huge number here.
Okay.
We'll say, 12 of those go to, the normal capitalistic system, but 8 of those, 8 quintillion tokens, are going to get divided up equally among 8 billion people. So everybody gets 1 trillion tokens. And that's your kind of universal basic wealth globally. And people can sell those tokens. Like if I don't need mine, I can sell them to you. We could pool ours together for some like new art project we want to do. But instead of just like getting a check, everybody on Earth is getting like a slice of the world's AI capacity. And then we're letting the like massively distributed human ingenuity and creativity and economic engine do its thing. I mean, that's like a crazy idea. Maybe it's a bad one, but that's the kind of thing that I think sounds like someone should think about it more.
I don't just want like a check every month. What I would want is an ownership share in whatever the AI creates, so that I feel like I'm participating in this thing that's going to compound and get more valuable over time. I sort of like universal basic wealth better than universal basic income. That's it. That's the shift. From a passive income to active participation. From surviving in the AI age to thriving through it. So now the question is for you. Would you want a slice of the future? Do you believe in a world where ownership isn't limited to those who can afford servers and silicon? Or do we let the AI age widen the gap between the have-everythings and the have-nothings? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if this resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to AI Ascension, and share it with someone who's thinking seriously about what comes next. Because the future is being built right now. The only question is, who's it for?